Probably the confidence of doing it, and
Mm.
probably
Okay.
the I don't know, maybe going along the journey. So I would have felt a bit more kind of evolved, a bit more kind of
Hmm.
knowing who I was, and that kind of looking back, I could use that as a stepping stone for the next
Okay.
thing I
Don't
wanted
think
to go.
about the next stages. I was thinking about if you were that person today, how would you view yourself, or what are some of the pluses you would get? So maybe I can guide you a little more. You said the confidence, right? If you
Mhm.
were considered someone who slept with multiple people, you'd feel confident enough to approach different people and, like, to court them and whatever, and have some sort of partnerships with them. Yes, that requires a certain amount of confidence, right?
Mhm.
Does that require a certain amount of extrovertedness also, to be able to go out of your shell to do something? Correct. would you
Definitely.
say would you say by doing that, you would also gain a certain kind of approval, maybe from your peers at that point? We're talking about you at that age. We're not talking about the evolved you. We're talking about you at that age, because that's the example you brought up. Would you talk about at that age, if you were that ladies' man who had slept with those multiple people, you'd get a certain kind of approval from your peers, from your
Oh,
friends, from everybody else? Yes. You see how
yes.
naturally this answer came to you. I barely even needed to finish it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I can see that." Correct.
No. That's how
Now,
you were judged at that age, yeah.
right, beautiful. So let's take this example and let's put this one aside for a second. Now let's use the jiu-jitsu example. And I don't want you to think about it from an evolved man or an evolved being perspective. I just want you to think about it from a small boy who wants to achieve these things. So let's say you were the young Ian, you're a small boy, you're a young, version of you that you know of, that wanted to achieve this jujitsu, validation of having these belts or achievements. What do you think he would have felt if you had gotten all the way with that?
Well, I've always given up on things, so I think that would have
Mhm.
been like a kind of I can do it. It would have been actually an achievement to actually do something rather than pull out of it.
Aha.
And I
Okay.
think when I was younger, I can remember like a bunch of people in primary school all got selected for this football tournament, and I can remember coming home and my
Mhm.
mum telling me they're all been asked in your class except for you to play in this tournament,
Mm.
and I can remember that being soul destroying, just crying for
How did
days
that
and feeling it.
Let's go there. How did that make you feel when you heard that?
Oh, end of the world! Like it was like somebody was just saying that you're not good enough, and I
Ah,
thought of that event right now while you were talking about
yeah.
like what and
Mhm.
that, and I now can see it, and it brings it up,
Right.
and I'm like, what, how do I deal it? But
Okay.
like,
So
see, just now
let's
I'm trying to avoid it. I can feel myself going, ask questions, talking to.
Right. Exactly. Or there's another thing that you do that you may not realize, is that you explain around it instead of sitting with it. That's
Hmm,
why I keep interjecting you, which I don't mean to do, but this is what is my job to do, is to get you closer to what you're avoiding seeing. Correct? So
yeah,
now let's go back to this jujitsu. And if you completed this jujitsu, that little boy would have been like, yes, I'm finally worth it, so I could finish something. People are going to celebrate me because I finished this. People are going to notice me because now I'm the jiu-jitsu champion. Every time I complete a level, I've completed more of an achievement. I'm more validated. I'm more worthy. I'm more valuable. Would you agree?
yeah. It's almost like you're doing it for other people rather than yourself.
Right.